A lot of people who can drive fail for these so-called little things. I'm overtaking a parked vehicle, looking over my shoulder, giving it about 1.5 meters, then indicating left. If someone's overtaking from the opposite direction, like that vehicle, we have the priority because their side is blocked and our side is free to go. Indicating mirror, looking over my shoulder and then diverging, and don't slow down here. Indicating left again, checking the first car to see if they started to move. It's amazing how many people fail their driving tests for so-called little things. If you failed multiple times, this is statistically the most helpful tip that I'm going to give you about the little things and failing driving tests, committing too many errors for so-called little things. Overtaking parked vehicles on the side of the residential street is probably one of the most common reasons that people fail their tests and they can drive. My opinion is they just don't take it seriously. If you're watching this video at the time of this recording, this is the requirement in Western Australia, what you need to do when you're overtaking parked vehicles on the side of the road. So we'll find a few now. First of all, you indicate right, then mirror, look over your shoulder properly, and then diverge. You can switch off your indicator here. And then after you pass all of them, because they were not too far apart, you indicate and look at the car, the first car, to see if they're starting to move, and then diverge over. The majority of people who fail for, again, so-called minor reasons, they fail for not indicating correctly and sometimes even not keeping the correct distance from the parked vehicles. Requirement in the driving assessment is 1.5 meters from parked vehicles. Indicating mirror, looking over my shoulder and then diverging, giving it at least about 1.5 meters in case somebody swings the door wide open, and then indicating left again, checking the first car to see if they started to move. I personally oppose this rule, the second blind spot check, if there's no driver in the car. If there's a driver in the car, check and see if, if they're moving or not at the time when you're overtaking them. Now, I'm gonna make a U-turn here, almost overshooting the street. If somebody appears from behind or from that direction, go further to the street, make the assessor aware, tell him I'm going to abort this one, we're going to go further up and do the 3-point turn. Now, before we re-enter, we've got to check, not after. Often people commit to entering the street or re-entering the same street before they checked. If it's been longer than 2 seconds from the, physically being able to see what's happening, and it would be because you have to slow down a lot, in order to make a smooth and slow turn, that means you have to double check and see if you have to give way to anyone. Another question that I get quite often, and in fact, a lot of people get marked for it. If you have multiple cars parked on the side of the road, you can pass them all in one hit. Diverging, you don't have to zigzag in because they're not too far apart. Should we switch off or leave indicator on here? You should switch it off, and then when you pass the first vehicle, check the blind spot again with your left indicator. In Europe, it's commonly known when you're overtaking, you have to leave your indicator on. When would you not commit to overtaking? Of course, when there's a vehicle coming from the opposite direction, because if your side is blocked by parked vehicles, wait for the traffic from the opposite direction to proceed and then make your way over. Should we, for example, if I have another car behind me and if I'm waiting for that car from the opposite direction, the question is, should we leave the indicator on here or switch it off while waiting? Leave it on, because if there's somebody from behind, they might assume that you are stationary as well, and as a result, that driver might potentially start to overtake you and the rest of the parked vehicles. So after the vehicle from the opposite direction has proceeded, you look over your shoulder properly, give it at least about 1.5 meters, switch your indicator off, and don't slow down here. Often people slow down for no reason. What's the logical thing that comes to mind when overtaking? Is it acceleration or is it reduction of your speed? Well, you have to speed up when you're overtaking as long as you are within the speed limit. So the worst thing you can do, as far as your flow and as far as inconveniencing other road users, is to slow down when overtaking. A lot of people come back from their test and the assessment sheet says that they significantly reduced the speed, enabling other traffic from the opposite direction to catch up, and as a result they would potentially get stranded in the middle. So here, mirror, blind spot, over your shoulder, and then speed up. It's a 50 zone, you shouldn't be less than 50, indicate back left, mirror, blind spot, and then diverge back left. If the assessor warns you about something, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're failing a driving test. They are just trying to help. As always, feel free to ask any questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.